Hi, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Early Bird. We'll talk about yesterday's. We only have two games to report on, but some big upsets, really. Let's get right into it, guys. We'll go into the stunning game in the East. Let's go there. Panthers defeat Bruins in overtime in Game 5, extend first round. As you see, Florida 4, Boston 3 in overtime. Well, let's look at the numbers here. Boston wide edge in shots 47-25 and in faceoffs 62% to 38. Panthers 1 for 2 on the power play, the Bruins 2 for 5. Hits in the game 48 for the Panthers, 40 for the Bruins. Blocks were 19 for the Panthers, 15 for the Bruins, and giveaways, the Panthers had 10, the Bruins had 17. Shots on goal. First period, 9-8 Boston. Second period, 18-8 Boston, and third period, 16-6 Boston. Goes to overtime. The Bruins have the edge there also, 4-3. Let's look at the scoring. Duclair opens it up. The important first goal of a game shows through in this game especially. From Verhaeghe at 8:26, 1-0 Florida after 1. Second period, Marchand scores on a helper from McAvoy. The Bruins tied up on the power play, 1-1 at 2:27. Late in the second, Sam Bennett, who's having a good series, from Verhaeghe and Cousins at 18:52, late in the second. Panthers take the lead into the third. And in the third, Bergeron gets his first of the series now that he's back from Marchand and McAvoy on the power play to tie it up 2-2 at 4:33. And Sam Reinhart on a Panthers power play scores from Tkachuk and Barkov to once again give the Panthers a 3-2 lead. And Taylor Hall, who might be the best Bruin in this series so far, scores his fifth of the series from Carlo and Coyle at 9:16 to tie it 3-3. We head to overtime, and before we go into that overtime, anybody that's seen that Marchand breakaway with like 2 seconds left or 1 second left on a faceoff in their zone with 7 seconds left, rushes it up ice, and Bobrovsky makes the save to force overtime. Tkachuk on a perfect pass from Verhaeghe that was a perfect pass from Ullmark in the overtime. 6:05, Panthers extend the series. What a boneheaded play by Ullmark. I have to throw that out there. My goodness. What a horrible play. He goes behind the net. You don't leave your net in overtime. You don't leave your net. And one thing I noticed they exposed, and most Sabres fans remember this, we remember Ullmark's pretty weak on his glove side. He's not the greatest on his glove side. And they kind of exposed that in this game too. But this play in overtime, I don't know what Ullmark was thinking. He comes out of the net, and the Bruins come close to scoring in the overtime too. Comes out of his net, and that's a no-no in overtime. And yes, he's good at playing the puck, Ullmark. He is. He's good with the stick. But you just don't chance it, And he passes it straight to Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe puts it out in front. Tkachuk right in the net. No chance. They just kind of blew this one, Boston, guys. This is what they did. They blew this game. But in reality, were they ever leading in the game? No. But they did outplay. They did play good enough. And you've seen how hard the Bruins were trying to put this series away. I got a feeling this is going to go 7. I really do. I don't think they're going to win all 3 games in Florida. I think Florida is going to get one, put it to 7, and Boston might put them away in 7. But if it goes 7, Bruins fans are going to be nervous as hell. I don't care how confident they want to talk. They're going to be nervous. You don't want to go to a Game 7. No team does. So we shall see if Florida have what it takes to push this to a Game 7. And if Bobrovsky can play anything like he did yesterday in Game 6, this is going 7. I'll tell you right now, because for me, the key is they're not going with Swayman. As long as they stick with Ullmark, there's a chance, I believe, that the Bruins can be upset. I believe. A lot of Bruin fans will think I'm crazy saying that, but as a Sabres fan, I kind of have the inside scoop with Allmark when it comes to pressure, when it comes to health, and when it comes to his weaknesses. And shoot on his glove side, I don't know what he was doing coming out of the net. That's not one of his weaknesses, though. It's not. Allmark can come out of the net. He's good with his stick. So bad mistake, bad turnover, cost the Bruins. But maybe the Bruins will be so pissed off they just will win like 5-0 next game. Who knows? All right, guys, let's go to the West. Kraken hold off Avalanche in Game 5, take lead in Western first round. Recap says Seattle 3, Colorado 2. Let's take a look at this. Shots in the game, 29-28 in favor of the Kraken. Face-offs, the Avalanche had a good edge there, 60% to 40%. Both teams 0 for 2 on the power play. 39 hits for the Kraken, 41 for the Avalanche. 14 blocks for the Kraken, 20 for the Avalanche. The Kraken had 6 giveaways. The Avalanche had 13. Shots on goal. Per period, here we go. 15-8 in the first period, Seattle. 10-6 Avalanche in the second. 10-8 Avalanche in the third. Very close game. 29-28 for Seattle in the shots, of course. Scoring. Let me open it up. Okay, first period, no scoring. Second period, Morgan Geekie from Schwartz and Wemberg makes it 1-0 at 6:35 into the game. I'd like to know how many times they've scored the first goal in the series. I can't on the top of my head know it off, but I'm pretty sure Seattle has the edge there too. All right, so they're up 1-0. Then McKinnon ties it up from Rantanen at 7:55, just about a minute and a half later, 1-1. Then Ty Cartier, playing in his first NHL game. I went and did some research on this guy, and he just played a full year in the AHL, and 2 years ago he was in the OHL. From Eberle and Borgen makes it 2-1. Seattle winning after 2 periods. And then Yanni Gourde with the early dagger in the third from Susie and Bjorkstrand makes it 3-1. And this basically the Colorado fans are stunned, and the Seattle fans are going nuts in Seattle. Evan Rodriguez, on a very lucky goal, bounced off two Seattle guys in the net. A very lucky goal from Taves and McKinnon makes it 3-2. That's as close as it would get at the 16:23 mark. Seattle's full credit to winning this game. Full credit. They were the better team, I thought, in this game. They were the aggressor. They weren't trailing once the whole game either. Both road teams come into hostile environments and win both their games, and neither one of these teams were trailing the entire game. So, fans can complain of the home side, but in reality, your team just didn't have what it took, really. Boston, really, the fans can say, oh, look at the shots we had. In the regular season, those would have went in. It didn't go in yesterday. And, if Boston run into goaltending like that in Game 6, and Allmark looks human again in Game 6, they have a decision to make in Game 7, and I think they're probably going to go with Allmark, which I think would be a bad mistake. But we'll see. We will see. Right now, I'm not sold on Allmark, guys. I'm just not. I know the Bruins are up in the series. I remember that they had, 44 out of 46 saves in Game 4. But when your team scores 6 goals, it's pretty easy to make those saves. What about when your team's not in the lead? That's when you need to make the saves. That's what I see when it comes to goaltending. It's too easy to look at statistics sometimes, but I look at how does this guy react under pressure, and in that overtime, that mistake really that could turn the whole series. It could, not saying it will, but it could turn the whole series in Florida's favor. Florida could win next game, force a Game 7, and then Boston fans are like not sleeping for days till this Game 7 happens, So we'll see there. When it comes to Seattle, honestly, folks, this is where inexperience will kick in, I believe, in Game 6. I think inexperience can kick in for Seattle, and experience can kick in for Colorado. Now, does that mean it'll happen? I don't know. This has every signs of an upset. This Colorado, even before this game, I honestly thought Seattle was going to win last night going into this game. That's just the feeling I had going into it. And I thought they're going to win like 3-0, really, before the game. That's kind of the theory I had in my head. But they're put it this way, they got Colorado playing at their tempo, not at Colorado's. They're putting a trap system on them. They're closing down the Avalanche on the boards, and they are just getting them to play at their tempo. The Avalanche are going to have to figure their way out. Great teams do, so we'll see if they do next game. We'll see if the Avalanche dictate their offensive game in Seattle. And it's going to be crazy, that game. It's going to be a fun one, too. All right, guys, done. I'll see you guys later, perhaps. Yesterday I had an apartment to clean, so by the time I got in, I wanted to watch the hockey game. Sorry, guys. I wanted to watch the games and not make videos. That's really what happened last night. I'll see you later on tonight, maybe. All right, have a good one, guys.